For the last 15 years, I have believed that there was a magic diet out there that could fix everything for me. Doing different types of diets is basically like running on a treadmill where you feel like you're going somewhere, but you're actually just standing right in place. I have tried all types of different diets. First, starting out with just counting basic calories, and then from there, it led to counting carbs and like having specific amounts of carbs. And then I did fasting, basically to where you're like starving yourself. And then that turned into trying like keto, blood type diet, blue zone. You know what the shocking truth is? Diets are not the solution. And I'm giving up that mentality because diets are actually the problem. Don't get me started on like the super crazy ones like 75 hard or things like that, where it's like so daunting. It's like running a marathon without actually training for it. Have you seen? So I've seen like one episode. Oh, what was that show called? And I think his name was like Barney or something. And he's like, oh yeah, I could totally run a marathon. He literally doesn't train and goes and runs a marathon. And like after the marathon, he literally like goes on the subway and wearing his medal, and he's like so tired that he literally can't move. Some guys come and like steal his medal. Anyway, I just think that's funny. So if diets worked, I feel like everybody would be walking around all happy and healthy and living their best life. So many people are doing this, so why aren't we all just happy walking around like, oh my gosh, my life is so great? You know, instead of saying like, it's like these diets go in fads. So like it's like keto and vegetarian, and then you have fasting. And I think right now the big thing is like caveman diet, where it's like, I'm pretty sure you basically only eat meat, and that feels like almost unhealthy. But like, how restrictive is that? Like, yeah, you're happy for a while, but inevitably it's like you've got to feel like you're missing out on something. And that's just something I might research, but I don't think I'm ever actually going to try that. With these being so restrictive, I don't feel like it's a willpower or a discipline thing. It's more of the diet themselves. Like it promises this quick fix and results. It's literally like a trendy outfit where it only works for like a season. It's impossible to literally stick to a diet forever. I guarantee you I can find somebody out there that has tried a diet, even if it's for years and years, that has not stuck to the restrictive limitations of that for like ever. So diets, like especially when I tried keto, it was like basically like canceling Netflix, where it's like you just want that comfort back after a while. I craved a banana and an apple when I was doing keto, something fierce. And I remember my friend bringing over this like plantain dish and thinking, holy crap, I can only eat half of these because a plantain has like something crazy, like 50 carbs or something in there. And it was like, I felt like I was cheating and failing on that. And then I was like, but I really want to try it because she worked so hard and like is sharing this with me. And like, how crazy is that to have that mentality? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Whenever that happens and like the diet starts not working, and inevitably it will always stop working, you're just left feeling like a failure. And then you're chasing like the next perfect plan. Like, what is that going to be? I can tell you, for me, keto was sustainable for like 3 to 4 weeks. And after that, like I had great results, but inevitably it stopped working and I stayed the same and plateaued. Same thing with like the blood type diet. It's not like a super well-known one, but a friend of mine told me that, and it's different restrictions for different types of blood. For me, being A positive, I was vegetarian. You can have fish every once in a while, but I hate fish. Like the smell is gross. It just grosses me out. So I just don't eat fish. Like I'll have coconut shrimp, and I like crab legs, and those are the only two. And I have to have like butter, or like the coconut shrimp needs that pina colada sauce, you know, that makes it like super unhealthy. After doing that, like I remember making baked beans because beans was a big thing on the blood type diet. And you like that recipe was actually really good. And that one was my favorite. But I could do that diet for like 3 weeks. And then I was like, I really want a steak or chicken or something like meaty. My body was like craving that. And that one didn't really have any great results. I feel like that's the main focus for everybody is like you do a diet to lose weight. You don't actually do a diet, a specific diet to just feel healthy. Like I feel like the ultimate goal is some sort of thing to do with like how your body looks. So honestly, the thing that is most sustainable, just knowing that you need balance and not going crazy on either direction. You hear that all the time, like balance is the key or whatever. And I'm like, how do you find that balance? And the one thing that has helped me the most is actually looking at ways that what I eat affects my body and like health effects, whether it's like this has a really good health effect and like helps me with my digestion, or like sugar has been my biggest vice for my whole life. And then like learning what that actually does to the body. And recently, like I've been told like, well, even giving up added sugar, like if you eat fruits or have dairy, like you're still having fructose and lactose, and truly that's not actually sugar free. And you know what? That's such extreme thinking that is part of the problem. Like people don't realize like not everybody's body reacts the same to diet. So like one person could be having like these amazing results, but they could have just started that diet and their body hasn't reached that plateau. Oh, this stuff drives me insane. Can you tell? The worst part about doing these specific diets is when you go out to socialize, you cannot expect other people. Like, yeah, there's things that you can do, but there's always people out there that are just going to be able to eat whatever they want, or they're not on that specific diet. And so then, like, you have that temptation and you feel like you're missing out. And have you ever done a party where you like, I can't eat that? And it's like, you do good for one party, or not a party, even like just a social gathering, or like your family doesn't eat that way. Let me tell you, that is really difficult because then it feels like you're doing your own. Then like you have to make another meal for your family and it's just separate, and like it's so difficult. So the real breakthrough comes from when you start listening to what your body needs, and you can kind of tell, like, I feel like digestively you can tell like how things make you feel if you're very in tuned to that. The hardest thing for me is going to be like giving up that belief that I need to have a diet in order to be happy. And honestly, like I'm not going to be happy and healthy like being restrictive and not being able to enjoy something and feeling guilty for eating it. Like, slowly, I've been releasing that mentality, and it actually feels like super freeing to me. And the thing to remember the most is to not overeat. And the worst part is like when I get these comments of people like, caveman's the answer to everything. It's like, because to each their own, but it starts making me think, holy crap, maybe I should be doing that. Like maybe they're right. Like I shouldn't feel bad for eating what I eat, and other people shouldn't affect me like that. So my biggest thing right now, and maybe you can relate to that, is being able to understand that food is something enjoyable and I'm allowed to eat what I want without feeling guilty. And like saying hello to an entire world of like freedom and making the choices that you want to make based on how you feel and how it affects your health. So I'm going to work this year on letting the diet mentality go for good, because it's not about starting a new diet. It's about starting a new mindset. And I know together it works better. I feel like this is something that we can stick through for a life where food's not going to control us. So right now, my biggest issue and thing I'm trying to work on is not overeating on desserts and finding alternatives of what to eat to help with my sugar addiction. I've found some really good options and I want to share them with you, and you can find them by clicking on this video up here. Let's start out the new year with a freaking bang, changing the entire world and letting go of this crap. Okay, are you with me?